Episode 1 of Outlander, Blood of My Blood begins with the death of Red Jacob Mackenzie, the patriarch of the Mackenzie clan. As the eldest child, Ellen Mackenzie might have expected to take a leadership role in his funeral, but due to her gender, she is excluded from formal responsibilities. With no heir officially named, the upcoming clan gathering must decide whether leadership should pass to the sickly but diplomatic Colum or his fiery and violent brother, Dougal. Through a flashback, we learn that Ellen shared a deep bond with her father. Unlike traditional expectations, Red Jacob treated Ellen as his equal, teaching her leadership skills and even gifting her his plaid and clan brooch, items typically reserved for men. Ellen grew into his trusted advisor, indicating that her influence and capabilities far surpassed those expected of a woman in her time. In the present, Ellen boldly wears the plaid and brooch at her father's funeral, symbolizing her defiance and the trust her father placed in her. Her younger sister Jocasta, however, resents Ellen's favored status and is embarrassed by the scandal surrounding their father's death. While Jocasta displays jealousy, their other sisters, Leticia and the third unnamed sister, remain neutral. Meanwhile, Dougal displays his warrior nature by violently repelling a raid, believing the attackers may be from the Fraser clan. Clan politics soon come into focus with the introduction of Ned Gowan, the clan's lawyer, who explains the long-standing feuds between the Mackenzies, Frasers, and Grants. The central tension revolves around who will become the next laird, with Colum's diplomatic style at odds with Dougal's impulsiveness. Elsewhere, young Murda encourages his cousin Brian Fraser, an illegitimate son of Lovat, to attend the gathering for entertainment. Lovat, harboring hatred for Red Jacob over land disputes, orders Brian to spy on the Mackenzies. A subplot emerges involving Julia, an English maid, who is harassed by Lovat, Julia to stay inconspicuous. At Castle Leoch, the gathering kicks off with plenty of internal tension. Ellen supports Colum's claim to lairdship, and Dougal's aggressive hockey match highlights his combative personality. Young versions of Rupert and Angus add mischief to the scene. Several suitors seek Ellen's hand, notably Malcolm Grant, who has loved her since childhood. When Brian arrives at the gathering, his identity arouses suspicion. He briefly meets Ellen in the stables and a spark is ignited between them, despite discovering they belong to rival clans. Their connection deepens when they later meet secretly at a bridge and confess their feelings. Ned Gowan suspects the Grants were not behind the earlier raid, and begins negotiating with their English advisor, Henry. Meanwhile, Malcolm Grant grows increasingly frustrated with Ellen's rejections and eventually leaves the gathering. Later, rumors arise that Malcolm has abducted Ellen. Dougal, eager for confrontation, attacks Malcolm's men despite warnings. However, Ellen was never taken, and the assault may have severe political consequences. When Ellen returns, she learns of the fight and confronts her brothers. Colum argues that her freedom depends on their protection, echoing a painful memory of her father refusing to name her as heir due to her gender. Dougal, disillusioned, leaves and Colum contemplates offering Ellen to Malcolm to settle tensions, despite Red Jacob's promise that she'd never be forced to marry. The episode ends in the 20th century, with Julia and Henry Beauchamp traveling in Inverness. After a car accident near Cray Nad Dun, Julia disappears near the mystical stones, hinting at time travel connections that link this story to the broader Outlander universe.